Hello listeners, this is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard! Kai Havertz in the Champions League final! Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver! Matic takes the net off!
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
Cole Palmer for Manchester City is going to be what Kevin De Bruyne is to Chelsea. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in a virtual room filled with some lions. I've got Ollie. I've got a virtual Chris. He's not physically here, but he sent in his winners and losers. He actually remembered this time. He's virtually here. He's virtually here. He's always with us in our hearts. He always is, you know.
Bless it.
Yeah, it annoys him. It annoys us.
It annoys me, you know.
I know. We miss you. We'll be back soon, ready to, talk about. I don't know. I tell you what, he's got Enzo on the winners list. He hasn't. But anyway, what was your moment of the weekend?
Well, it's a lot of pressure, isn't it? Because because when you're the only one on, you feel like you've got to come with something. So I visited my dad this weekend, and I really enjoyed that. So if you're listening, Dad, hi, because he does listen sometimes.
Oh, fair play. And, hi, Ollie's dad.
Yeah, and but I think and it was really nice spending time with him. But I think the best moment of the weekend has to be the football, doesn't it?
It was
if that counts.
Was pretty packed. It was stacked. It really was. I think mine was, if we head over to the Bundesliga for a bit, it's not that. It's not Leverkusen. It's Naby Keita, who he is currently at Werder Bremen. Well, I didn't know that, but he was told that he would be on the bench against Leverkusen, and he decided to pick up his bag and head home. I mean,
I'm not having it.
He really did. I mean, there were reports that the game had to be delayed by about an hour because Keita had the only ball and he took it home with him. So, that's the rules. But no, since this, apparently, Werder Bremen have suspended him till the end of the season. He won't train with the team. He won't gain access to the locker room, the gym, anything. So that's a great free transfer for Werder Bremen. That's like bloody hell. Oh, my word.
What a mess.
Oh, man. Talking of a mess, I'll bring it up. I also washed my car this weekend, first time in 2 weeks, and I literally just finished washing it, listeners. Got in my car, thought I'd do some shopping. As I drove out, a tractor drove right by and shit hit all my windscreen. I have never been so disappointed in my life. And what did I do? Like a smart person, do I pull over and then go, try and get this off? No, I thought I'll use the wiper blade, and you did exactly what it did. It smeared it across. I was like, yeah,
Mikey, no.
It was just one of the moments. As soon as it did the first one, you're like, why did I do that? Oh my gosh, why? Oh well.
Dear, oh dear.
I cleaned it, and now it's clean. It's sitting in front of me. I'm very happy. So, yeah. Anyway, with that, we can move to match reports because we've got a double match report. First up, we got the Chelsea women. They took on Manchester United in a very tasty FA Cup semi-final. Chelsea have faced West Ham United, Crystal Palace and Everton in the previous FA Cup rounds, while Manchester United defeated Newcastle, Southampton and Brighton, leading to this huge semi-final rematch of last year's incredible final. Didn't get off to a good start, did it? Within 42 seconds, Manchester United capitalised on a defensive mistake. Oh, my word. Unfortunately, it meant Leah Galton provide the assist for the headed goal by Garcia. 1-0 down within a minute. Not a great start. Chelsea gained some momentum. There was a shot by Wrighting Canarid, but United, they extended their lead with a goal from Williams. Not the best of, opening 25 minutes. But we made some efforts, and we did get a goal from Lauren James, which was assisted by Niamh Charles just before the half, and we thought that maybe that make us, come back, get a 2-2, 3-2, but no, United held on to that 2-1 win. Mary Earps was outstanding, made some crucial saves for United, and we made a late push. It just was not enough to overturn the deficit, and our quadruple became a treble, and it is now, unfortunately, just a double. Manchester United 2, Chelsea 1. Heartbreak in the semi-final as United exact their FA Cup final revenge on our Blues. The Emma Hayes farewell tour is quite quickly turning into Woodstock 99, isn't it? It's not great. We had a quadruple, we had a treble, now we've got a double, and it's against Barcelona to get the double, and we're not looking good.
Yeah.
We got big game in the WSL in a couple of days against Villa. I mean, how I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, I'm worried. To be honest, I feel a little bit like the season's kind of slipping away. Feels like the wheels are falling off. I mean, what more is there to say? Really, we've just kind of fallen apart a little bit.
It's
in
weird.
The last little while.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's not like us at all, which is
No.
worrying. In terms of the women's team, at least. So
big games as well. That's the problem.
Yeah, but you back us to win any game, but at the moment, we look one of the weakest we have in years.
It's so surreal to be talking about this, about like Chelsea's women's team. I mean, I know some people are going to say, look, you got Villa tomorrow night, and that's their seventh, but we've seen how even Bristol City gave us a bit of a game, and I'm never going to be cocky and confident when in any football match ever, because you never know. And I mean, look, there were 2 penalty shouts in the game. I'd say the handball was a Stonewall penalty. I mean, that's clearer than a crystal blue sea on a summer day. It's a penalty.
Yeah, I will say that for as poor as we were in the game, and we were poor, the referee. The less I say, the better, I think. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
I mean, this isn't the first time we're talking about officials. I mean, look at the Real Madrid group stage game. Say no more. The second one, I feel that's also a certain spot kick, but no PKs were handed out that day. There was a couple of things as well. I mean, I want to talk about Mayra Ramirez and to be fair, how she's being treated, because there's a concern within our fan base that the officials they're not really taking the fouls on her into account, and it's persisted for a few months now. And I mean, look, United
she's having the crap kicked out.
Yeah, like the Hazard thing. We remember how we used to, worry about Hazard for the men's team get kicked to pieces. I'm sort of seeing it with Ramirez. I mean, United exploited it, especially. Just look how distressed Ramirez is after the collision with Letitia. I mean, that's just unacceptable. And then what made it worse was the United coach gave Letitia a high five as she went to the sideline. Oh, what the bloody hell? I was so pissed about that. Oh, come on. I mean, that was a clear elbow to the face.
It was poor. It was very poor indeed.
Shocking. I was absolutely appalled by that. And I don't know why. We've touched on why things are going a bit south. I mean, midway through this season, I noticed that our formation was switched to a 4-4-2. And that sort of dropped our little bit of momentum. And I mean, it's not been it's been quite ineffective as a formation. And I kind of feel that is the reason we've nosedived off a cliff in terms of performance levels. But
yeah, we're just not seeing the same fight either. I wonder if some of the players aren't quite as happy, or maybe they're a bit worried about what's going to happen in the summer. New managers coming in, lots of established names. Who's going to get on? Who's going to be the new favourites? Then there's concern there. Maybe that's affecting the team a bit. I don't know, but it feels like it's whatever it needs sorting quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. We don't know officially, but it's most likely going to be Sonia Bonpastor. Look at that, I got it right. But Yay. Yeah, I mean, oh my word. I mean, hey, even a blind squirrel finds a nut. But I don't know. I really don't know. Villa tomorrow is going to be a tough one. It will be a tough one. It's a WSL game, and the games are competitive, and I mean, my final thoughts on it. It might be a bit of a hot take, but I feel that, in my opinion, that this team hasn't consistently, that's the key word here, consistently performed well throughout this season. You've got injuries. Bloody hell. I mean, look at one point, I think we had one fit forward at one point. We've got obviously the Hayes announcement, and obviously the officiating has been dreadful at times. And
that's horrible.
That's played a part. But like you touched on, it does seem like some of the players are sort of missing that killer instinct from previous seasons.
Yeah, it just feels like it's not quite there for whatever reason. They're just, something's different.
Yeah, maybe the coaching change will be beneficial. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, we have lost our arguably one of the greatest players in women's football right now, Sam Kerr, and she's out for the season. We know with that injury, that's devastating. You know, we look at other teams. We look at, say, you look at Man City if they lost Haaland, or Arsenal if they lost Thierry Henry in their prime, sort of thing. It hits a team. It hurts the team.
Yeah.
So
and that is the level Sam Kerr is really in the women's game. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know where we'll go from here. I mean, if we could go and beat Villa 4-5-0 tomorrow.
We could. Will we though?
I don't know. It's just one of them. It really is. I mean,
I wouldn't back us tomorrow.
It's I'm hopeful. It's just the fact that, I think Sam Kerr's injury really hit us. I mean, look, if City lost Shaw, for example, that's a huge loss. I mean, she's got 19 goals for them this season.
Yeah.
I mean, next obviously is Lauren James. She's on 13. We'd be lost at the moment with Lauren James. But we'll see. We'll be positive. We'll head tomorrow. Hopefully a win, and then you just got to keep going. I mean, we've got Barcelona Saturday. If we could get a result, that would be absolutely outstanding for our season. If this is the year we win, I would sacrifice the League Cup and the FA Cup for that Champions League crown.
We really need to win the Champions League.
It'd be so awesome just to cement our legacy.
Yeah, it feels like the dynasty is kind of coming to an end in terms of the Emma Hayes dynasty.
Well, yeah, it does. Obviously, she does go to the US after the end of this season. So
so it's really important that we win the Champions League, because as good as Bon Pastor is, and she has won the Champions League before, I'm not 100% sure whether it's going to be a new environment. It's going to be different. There's going to be some teething problems, and
you never know with a new coach.
Yeah, and so I just don't think it's necessarily guaranteed under her. So I think our best option is right now.
Yeah, focus on the here and now instead of the future, really.
Yeah.
Right. Well, from one frustrating match, I mean, this was quite a game. It's the match report sponsored by Touchdown. Chelsea Lions 6. 6 goals happened at Stamford Bridge. Oh my God. And
it's the most goals I've ever seen in my entire life. It feels like we've been so goal starved.
We finally hit the XG total. We finally did it.
A man on a desert island, and one day he just comes across
a water bottle. Oh, yeah. Oh, if there's one water bottle, then 6. I mean, our XG for that game. I've just I didn't even write it down. How poor of me. Well, we had expected goals of 3. Who cares? We doubled it. I mean, I've got winners. Of course, I've got winners. How could we not? I've got 3 winners, and I
no winners for me. Not good enough. No.
I only have 2 losers. I genuinely only have 2 losers.
Well, because I knew there weren't many. We were going to be a bit short on personnel today. I've got 4 and 4.
You've done a Chris. Oh, legend.
I have.
You know what? I will lead. You can lead with yours whilst I grab Chris's screenshot he sent to me of his winners list.
Okay, well, the first winner I've got is it's quite an obvious one, really. Alfie Gilchrist gets his first goal for the club, his celebration. Oh, what a moment for him. It's just really nice to see that, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And I've just pulled up Chris's winners. Did he go for 3 and 3? Of course he didn't. He went for 4 winners, and he did have Gilchrist on there. He put down brilliant for him, icing on the cake, like Trevor Chalobah versus Palace a few years ago.
Or Tamori's debut.
Oh, that was such a good goal. That was.
Yeah, against Wolves, I think it was.
Was
it 5-2 we won that day?
I feel like that was probably 5-2. I was going to say like 6, but
something like that.
I mean, outstanding. And he
just really happy for him. Like, he didn't really do anything else apart from that in the game. So, it's just like, well done. He
was one of them, like a fan when they score and they just don't know what to do with the celebration. Like, I just run around. Why not?
Yeah, and running straight into the crowd as well. Really lovely celebration. Yeah, dead pleased for him. So happy. Yeah. And that's just because just the other day he was celebrating on his Instagram, if I remember rightly, that he had been given like a first team locker, like officially.
Oh wow!
And so to have that and then he must be having the best week ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so nice. That's the thing. I mean, we all like him. He seems to be a really solid individual, and hopefully we don't do the pure profit and go, oh, we'll sell him. No, let's not do that, please.
He's too Chelsea for that.
Well, no one's too Chelsea for that at our club.
It doesn't feel like anyone's too Chelsea for that.
No,
but hopefully he is.
Right, I'll move to Chris's second winner, and it was Conor Gallagher. He's put incredible, as was Caicedo next to him, but Conor Gallagher was excellent in both sides of the game. Most balanced midfield has been since opening day versus Liverpool, where Conor Gallagher again played in a double.
That's such a sly dig at Enzo, isn't it?
I wonder if that had anything to do with a lack of an Argentinian midfielder that we paid.
I had Gallagher as a winner. To be fair, he was absolutely everywhere in the game, wasn't he? He was just he covered so much space, and it was nice to see him and Caicedo, both of them together. Actually, so rather this is more like the midfield pivot than just Gallagher, but. The way they cover more ground when they are together near each other, like they can cover the ground that Pochettino actually wants them to cover.
Yeah.
Whereas at the moment, a lot of the time, Caicedo is left covering more ground than he can handle. Having Gallagher there really made a difference, and actually it then allowed other players to be in their right positions a bit further up the pitch as well, which we'll get to.
Yeah, I mean he did play deeper than usual because obviously Enzo wasn't playing. It didn't look out of place there. I mean, he made good runs and
really technically secure. 93% pass accuracy.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, what can you say to that?
This season, his passing has gone up a level. Like he knows when to play it safe. He knows when he knows how to. His game has matured so much this year. And it's going to be such a shame when we sell him in the summertime.
I keep saying it. I think I've accepted it now. I know people are going, oh no, we won't say. I've just accepted it. And whenever the window shuts,
it's a nice surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever it shuts, be it the 31st of August, 1st September, whatever, I will be very glad if Conor Gallagher is a Chelsea player with a new contract. Simple as that. I'll be very happy.
He deserves a new deal. I really do. I think every team needs a player like him in it.
Well, it's his leadership as well. I mean, we'll touch on that again. I mean, that was. We know what we're talking about. The penalty,
Palmer the penalty, and that was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And well done for Gallagher for stepping in. It's not the first time he's done it either. So,
I will move to my. Have I even said one? I don't know. First winner, and I'll save my best till last. So I'm going to go for first up. I'm going Moises Caicedo because he was absolutely outstanding against Everton. I mean, he had
a very good game.
He was breaking up tackles, intercepting the ball like a prime Charles Woodson. He has been outstanding for over 10 games now. But 100 million is all you're going to hear. It's all you're going to hear. 100 million.
No, that's all right. Let him be. Just quietly doing bits in the shadows, because at some point people will start to notice that we're playing better when he plays, and how well he's playing in it as well. There'll be a few higher profile games. People will start to notice what's going on, and when they do, we'll be like, yeah, he's been this good for ages.
It just annoys me really because they always talk about his fee and go, oh, he's not a transfer success, he's a bit of a flop. And I'm thinking, well, he's not, because if you remove, I know that's the easy way to, knock someone down, but just look at what he's doing on the pitch. And that is what matters. I guess in a way we care about the fee. We always do. But then in a way, I think, do I? Because if he's performing what we wanted, that's exactly, he was a transfer fee is only what a club sort of values them at. I mean, like when Wilfried Zaha was 100 million or something from Palace, everyone's going, he's never worth that. Well, maybe not, but to Palace, he's worth 100 million because without him, they would have probably got relegated. And that money is the difference between the Championship and the Premier League. So I do understand it. And why did I have Caicedo? Well, of course, other than what I've just listed, I loved his leadership at the end of the 90 minutes because he goes and absolutely rips into Jackson about the penalty. And I started to think here, am I starting to see some leaders emerge in this team? I hope so, because it was definitely a leadership quality that Caicedo showed. And I would also
nice to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people always say that sport doesn't it doesn't change your character, it reveals it.
I mean,
it's nice to see some people, like some actual leaders emerging in the team.
Yeah, 100%. And Julian also dropped us a message to just say that Caicedo's best performance of the season, that was, and I fully agree. it was absolutely outstanding how good he was. I was thoroughly impressed, and he deserves his place on my winners list. So, who's a winner for you?
My third winner is Nicholas Jackson. Now, I know what you said about the penalty.
I'm not commenting.
And you do have to take that away from him. Literally, the only reason that he is a winner is because of his goal. It was a proper centre forwards finish.
Good.
Really that's the first proper striker's goal I feel like he scored. But he had his back to the player. That's just spin, hit it. He knew where the goal was. Goes in off the post, bit scrappy, but at the same time, exactly what you want to see from him. And all the time he was causing difficulties during the game. But that goal in particular really was the icing on the case for a pretty good performance from him, sans the penalty, of course. But it kind of almost confirmed to me that he should be our striker next season. Like he should be our starting striker next season. Listen, if we go out and buy someone for crazy money, then they're obviously going to start ahead of him. But I'm not sure. I think based on the merits of this season, if he's going to keep improving at the rate that he is, but where is he going to be by the end of next season? He's going to be
exactly.
really, really top player by then.
It's a solid debut campaign. I've said that before, and we had the tweet about the Kai Havertz thing about he's reborn, and at the time Jackson similar stats, and he's like, he's a bit of a flop. Well, he's not. He's absolutely nothing.
Havertz is reborn. Do you know what Jackson is? Born. There you go.
I mean, Chris also had him as a winner, and he put top draw. Let himself down with the penalty, but 2 assists and a brilliant goal, plus some really good centre forward play.
Very good performance from him.
Yeah, I mean, I will fully back that. It was really good goal, so good, and I will touch on that penalty. And I did state in the Discord that he wouldn't get on my winners list for that, so we'll get to that. I will. You know what? I will give Chris his final. No, I won't, because we all know who his final winner is. Right, I'll go with
my final one is the same.
Yeah, we all know. You've finished your winners list then, apart from the obvious, which we'll touch on. Right, my second winner was Mauricio Pochettino, because after the game, he said, Palmer is the penalty taker. Won't happen again. Can't behave like kids again. It's a shame. I told the players this the last time that this is the last time I will accept this type of behaviour. This is not a joke. Again, very clear. Cole Palmer is the penalty taker. And obviously we know what he's speaking on. It's the penalty incident. And I will touch on that in losers. But Cole Palmer also apparently confirmed that Poch had spoken to them about it. And you know what? I actually really respect Pochettino for this response. I mean, I hope he sticks by this word. But I had a lot of respect for him just not standing for this shit. Watching the interview back as well. I did that just before we were recording, and he kept going back to that incident, even when he wasn't directly asked. He kept going back to it, and I sort of saw how pissed he was about it. I mean, those comments were, he was genuinely annoyed. He wasn't just saving face; he was really annoyed by that behaviour.
Yeah, like it's very clear that he was. It's something that really bothered him, which isn't the best thing to do for your coach. But yeah, do you have any more winners, Mikey?
No, and Chris, we've all got it. We all know it's getting a bit chilly
in here.
Ooh, it's cold.
We didn't plan that either.
Look, it's Cole Palmer. I mean,
of course it is.
Oh my word. I've got one thing and one thing only to say to that. It's time to head to the Stat Drop Club.
Oh,
because first up, a perfect hat trick, left foot, right foot, header. It's the fastest hat trick scored for Chelsea in the Premier League's history at 29 minutes. Cole Palmer has scored as many Premier League hat tricks in his last 2 home games as Eden Hazard, Paul Scholes, Steven Gerrard, Sadio Mane, Riyad Mahrez, Gareth Bale, and Alexis Sanchez managed in their entire Premier League careers.
That's unbelievable.
Cole Palmer, and this is my final stat, has also scored more Premier League hat tricks than Wayne Rooney, Harry Kane, Romelu Lukaku, and Nicolas Anelka. Oh my word. What a gem we have.
I think it's also the fastest perfect hat trick in Premier League.
You know what? I will take that and believe it. Wow. I mean, the third goal as
Don't
well.
mind if I fucking do. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to go sort of almost minute by minute in how good he was in this game because because of the performance. He was just so incredible to watch. The first goal after 13 minutes was absolutely unbelievable. Caicedo gets it from Caicedo spreads the play really well, does well to evade the press, goes to Gusto up the pitch. Gusto gives it to Palmer, who stops, nutmegs the defender, gets pulled over to the side, little flick between 1-2 between him and Jackson, and finishes it first time in the bottom corner. What a strike. Second one, 5 minutes later, when he ghosts into the box to rebound the header. Love to see that. Proper Lampard's goal. Really like the way he just came into the box, really floated in late. Then completed his hat-trick on the 29th minute with an assist from Jordan Pickford, but by no means was that an easy goal to score either. On his weak foot from far out, I thought he missed it for a minute there, but it didn't. It just dropped in, and it's, oh my god, what a performance from him. And then of course the penalty. Scored 9 out of 9 now. People are saying, oh, he's in the Golden Boot race or whatever with 9 penalties, and yeah, that is true. But he still had to score them all, and he has scored all of them. 9 penalties, and he scored every single one. It's so impressive. He's scored I think he's had a hand in about half of our goals this season, in total. And we'd just be in the bin without Cole Palmer. We are Cole Palmer FC at the moment.
I mean, just absolutely outstanding. And Chris put down in his winners that it's the first game changer we've had since Hazard, Player of the Year, and I can't disagree.
Yeah, I think, and do you know what? He's shown it all season.
Yeah.
Other players have either been injured, or we've seen it in glimpses, or they've fallen out of the team, or for whatever reason. But he has shown it all season long.
Yeah. I just still can't believe that he has been that good.
Nobody could have predicted how good he's been.
No.
Because he's having a record-breaking year almost. At least in Chelsea terms, he's having a record-breaking year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I can't ever see him putting up these kind of production numbers again. As we rely on him so much at the moment. Eventually, the idea, hopefully, is we don't rely on him as much, as good as he is.
Yeah, you want to share it out. You
want to share the load, right? But oh my god, what a season he's had! I hope we don't waste a season of his production like this, and
exactly,
not
100%,
not ever see it again.
I mean, he's also he scored 12 goals in 7 games in a row now. I mean, that's more than when Drogba got 8 and 6. Anchor Johnson as well, 7 and 6. Just again,
I think
more stats.
He's scored the most, or something like scored the most goals at Stamford Bridge in a row, or something like that.
He's joint top scorer with Haaland. How did that happen out of nowhere? It's like you sort of forget. You're like, damn.
2 games ago, he was about 7th.
Oh my word! Right, we will move to the loser section because there's always some. And you know what? Chris has got interest in 3 losers here. He's not picked any of mine, which is nice.
I think we're all going to have slightly different losers.
Well,
today.
He's interested. He put Malo Gusto, and he put very unlike him, slow on the ball, caught out defensively a few times.
Do you know what? I disagree with that. I thought he had a really good game.
Well, I think Chris just wants to annoy us. I mean, I didn't think Gusto was that bad.
I genuinely thought he had a good game. Maybe other people saw something I didn't, but I thought he had a really, really good game. He was getting down the right side. He was making good crosses when he could. He had a lot of space. He was always passing the ball.
He grew into the game. I think that's. I mean, he was sloppy a little bit, but he grew into it. I thought.
But he was there or thereabouts most of the game. I thought he had a good performance. Maybe I'm being too easy on him. I don't know.
And when he went forward, he was a threat, which we know he is. He always is. And
it's just a joy to watch. Maybe it's just because I like watching him play.
Yeah, I think
it's just a joy to watch on the ball.
Next up, loser for Chris, and I can sort of see why he picked this player, Mykhailo Mudryk, and he showed 2 glimpses of quality. Yes, I agree, but gave the ball away so much. Gifted the ball to Everton players twice in 4 minutes. The second half on the edge of our own box, and in a game where all the forwards enjoyed themselves, he didn't show enough. I understand that.
He's in my losers for the exact same reason. In a game where we were so dominant on the ball from the first minute, and we had so much space, thanks Everton, Um, he failed to assert himself. Outside of one good dribble in the second half and being more or less getting more or less the assist for one of the goals as well. Like you say, with Mudryk, it's always glimpses. It just we need to start seeing more from him. I think after next season we need to see more from him. Otherwise, there need to be conversations about him. I think.
Yeah, I mean, he was the second. It was such a run, such a great run.
It was good, and arguably Palmer should have finished the chance as well. So he should have had an assist for that. But I don't know. I just feel like if he was playing at the top of his game, I feel like he'd be the one getting all the plaudits and the starlight, not Palmer. And I just feel like for whatever reason he just can't get himself there.
I saw a lot of fans last night on social being like, he's a bit of a liability. He wasn't closing anyone down. Defensively, he wasn't doing the work. I understand that. And you have
Not
to
yesterday, he wasn't. He usually does do a little bit of defensive work, at least more than, say, like Palmer, for example. But yeah, last night, I didn't see it at all.
It's just, I feel like it was a missed opportunity to sort of go, look, I should be playing against City. It was just one of them, I mean,
now Sterling's going to start now for sure.
I feel that would probably happen. It's just that defensive work, and you can't do that against City. They'll destroy you. They will destroy you.
The thing is, as well, I wish Berth was here because what needs to happen now with him is he needs to have that conversation where he says, I'm going to play you, and if you're shit, I'm going to play you again, and if you're shit, I'm going to play you again. Over and over. Something like Berth likes to come back to, and that's actually really what he needs now.
More than
anything. Like, he's had a bad game, back him.
Yeah,
put him back in the team.
Exactly. Yeah, I can see your point, but I know I'm going to go against that and say you can't do that against City. Not City.
You can't, but
if you're not doing your defensive duties, you will be destroyed.
Maybe at half time, if he's struggling, you yank him for Sterling and give him a message. But either way, it's not great. It's not great for him. Deserved loser.
And finally, his final loser is my winner. What, Chris, are you doing? Pochettino, and he's put just for the penalty situation, but seems as though he's finally sorted it and told everyone Palmer's the taker now, but it should have been done months ago. That final bit, I totally agree with. It should have been done months ago. Yeah. And it wasn't.
You know what?
We're in this situation.
To a certain degree, I didn't mind the players sort of making out working out sort of the hierarchical structure for themselves, because it allows those bonds to grow stronger because they're more organic than Pochettino picking someone. But now Palmer is the clear taker. There's no doubt. He has to be the one to take it. And now, like, if people are still arguing for it at this stage, Pochettino is right to step in now and say that, like, look, there is no conversation about this anymore. This is a clear winner.
Yeah. That's his losers list done. Mine's you. Everyone knows who my two losers are. It's the same two. But who are your losers other than if it's potentially the two I've got?
So I've got Noni Madueke.
He's on mine. He is on mine.
A bit similar to Mudryk, really. Just didn't really show enough. Like everything we did, maybe it just goes to show how good Palmer's been. But everything we did went through the middle. Didn't really get Mudryk involved very much. Didn't really get Noni involved very much. And when they were involved, especially for Noni, there was just a lot of dribbling to nowhere. Keeping the ball and retaining it, and that's good. But I've seen him. I saw him try and drive a few times, tried to get balls in the box. For whatever reason, it just wasn't working for him, and unfortunately that makes him a loser.
Who else have you got?
I actually also have Pochettino. But for a different reason than
I was just about to go why really aggressively, like it's a personal attack.
Why? But actually, it's a bit of a nitpick, really, considering he should be a winner as well. I just didn't want to do too many winners, because he set the team up perfectly, really, and it showed in the game. We were on 6-0. Can't really complain about the coach. But one thing if I have to find one nitpick, it would be with the youth players. It feels like when you're 5-0 up, right? When you're 5-0 up, it feels like if you're not going to use the youth at that stage, if you're not going to bring them on at that stage, when are you going to do it? And I know he brought Gilchrist on, and he scored a goal, and I know he brought Washington on a little bit, but I'm talking about the academy kids, Dyer and George. both of them were on the bench yesterday. They must have been licking their lips, thinking half an hour to go. He's got to start making substitutes soon.
I
We're
found that
5-0
odd.
up.
I thought
There's a
happen.
chance here, and for me, it's just a bit annoying. And I get he's doing it like for the right reasons, and he wants to clean sheet, and he's doing it a bit by hierarchy as well. But it was such a good opportunity to just stick a couple kids on the pitch and say, look, there are no risks at the moment. See what you can do. And I feel like now we're probably not going to have another game like that for the rest of the season. So it's unlikely we're going to see that now this season.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. That's very fair. I will jump on my two losers, and it is together. I put Noni Madueke and Nicholas Jackson. And look, last night I tweeted that Noni Madueke and Nicholas Jackson let their teammates down, and with that behaviour over the penalty. I mean, and I stand by, it was childish, it was pathetic, it was disrespectful. And 24 hours on, I still fully stand by this because
it was bad. And you get the reason why they want that. Jackson wants the penalty because he's a striker, although he's already got a goal at that stage. Noni wants the penalty because he thinks he's won it, although apparently it was the foul on Palmer that actually won the penalty.
Yeah, I started to think it might have been something to do with like a goal bonus. I really started to wonder that, but
could be. You never know.
Look, I will never accept something in a win that I wouldn't in a loss, and I'm so frustrated because I saw two selfish individuals thinking of themselves.
If we had lost the game because of that, for some reason, if we had lost the game because of that, we would have been furious. If that game ended 1-0 to Everton or whatever, we'd be absolutely furious about that.
I mean, I saw two selfish. I said, look, they're two young lads. They are. But they didn't show respect or maturity. I've got to say, you need to park your ego at the door and think of the team, because I don't care how talented you are, but I don't want you in the team because it's going to be a negative effect eventually. And look, I'm speaking sort of as the manager there in this instance, but egos like that are just not needed. You've got to park it. Madueke did seem like he was already over it after Palmer scored because he went and celebrated with him, which is awesome. It is maturity. It is, you've moved on, you've accepted it, got to go forward. Jackson, on the other hand, was still having a bit of a tantrum. Look, great player, great goal. You got to park the ego. Look, it just.
And you know what?
It's the second bit that annoyed me as well when he went over again. It's like, what was that about?
Do you know what? I will say for these young players, it is a little bit difficult to know where the line is between passion and anger and frustration.
Yeah.
I don't mind players. To be honest, I don't really mind players arguing over who gets to take a penalty. I understand the reasons behind it. I understand why they're going to do it. They have an opinion, they feel like they want to at least have a word, have a say, see if they can get to take it. I get that. But then, where that crosses over into snatching the ball from each other and having to push each other around to actually try and get ultimately what is a right decision and the decision everyone kind of expected to be made anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if Palmer's on the pitch,
it's just just too far. Do you know what I mean? It's not it's just the wrong end of the right side of the spectrum for me.
I mean, the thing is, Palmer is if he's on the pitch, he takes the penalty. He's arguably now, I think, the best penalty taker in the Premier League. I mean, at least this season. I don't think
scored 9
better.
of them. And
exactly.
Anyone scored more penalties?
And fair play, Poch addressed it. He sorted it, and he seemed annoyed. I'm glad, and I'm sure both of them are going to go, you know what, messed up, boss, moving forward. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to drag this topic on about the penalty over and over like some have, but I've seen it on social. It keeps going. It's like, look, it's happened. It's been addressed.
That is the most accusatory sounding some I've ever heard.
It's just so I've been told. Some. We need to
know who you are.
Look, we park it. We've parked our egos. We're moving forward with it, and I think that's what's going to happen. I think it'll be Palmer from now on. It's been clear, and that is what matters. Right, you've got one loser left. Who is it?
Noni and Jackson together. My last loser is Everton. Oh my goodness. If I was Jason Cundy at the moment, I'd be screaming, has anyone seen Everton? Because that was an absolutely horrible display yesterday. We are not the best team in the Premier League. Yes, I know. After last night's result, it does feel like a bit like we could be, but we're not. There are teams who are better than us in the Premier League. There are a lot of teams this season who've been better than us in the Premier League, and we shouldn't have battered Everton the way that we did. They were abysmal. They were absolutely horrible. I don't know. On paper, I was actually saying I wasn't expecting us to actually win the game yesterday because they're in a relegation fight. They're going to be up for it. They've got a lot of really tall players, so set pieces are going to be a problem. And they had a few goes at times. I know Beto missed that tap in early on. Maybe that changes the game, but they just collapsed. They fell apart, and they were really, really poor on the night. So I also want to say, as good as we were, and we were very good, and we took our chances, and we looked like a proper team yesterday, Everton were abysmal.
How very non-Chelsea we took our chances. How often have we said that this season? We haven't.
I know.
Oh, my word. Right. Emojis. It's not a shrug for me. I have gone with an American football because that was a touchdown scoreline. It was 6-0. Didn't need the field goal to make it 7. But it was just amazing. I was really shocked by that. I really was because, like you said, I expected Everton to be up for the fight. They want to get, safety secured. Wow. Fair play, guys. Fair play. 6-0.
I am going to go with the Blue Heart. 6 of the best, and Palmer got 4 of them. Bless him. My goodness. I was trying to find an emoji of the number 4, but I could not find one. So, we'll go with that. We'll go with the Blue Heart.
Oh, fair play. Fair play. Right. We move to Lion of the Week. And our Lions from the weekend, I tell you what, there's 2 good ones. One not so good one. We had Caicedo, outstanding pick.
That was me, I think.
That was outstanding. Mudryk.
Who was that?
Was that Chris?
I think that was Chris.
I feel Chris was there because he said whoever he picks is shit. So
yes, he was dead right. He was spot on, Chris.
And
Chris, if you're listening, you've got to keep doing this.
Look, the roulette wheel gave me a good pick. It gave Thiago Silva. He was very good. So
yeah. Imperious game from him.
Thank.
And a clean sheet for the first time in
I know. I was like, oh, bloody hell. Right, we move to Quaresma's questions. And you know what? 2 good questions here. 2 good questions. I'll start with Strizzy and Jake because they both sort of asked similar questions on the penalty incident. And they just went asking, does the fighting over the penalty point to issue in the dressing room or do we just chalk it up to age? I think the latter. I think the age thing. And
I wouldn't say it's a problem. It's just it's just a lot of testosterone in one area. This stuff's going to happen.
It's a very young team, and we all know. We're all. Let's be honest. When we were all young, we were idiots, and it's one of them. It seems to have been dealt with, and maybe as much as we think we have a new manager in the summer. Maybe Pochettino is the right man for the young team. He seems to have done well with young teams and players, and maybe he's the nicer element of his personality is to go, look, guys, come on, let's sort this. I'm firm but fair, as they say. So yeah. And this one, I like this really. I love this question. Alexander was asked, in relation to Cole Palmer, can you guys think of a better first season for a player at the club or any club for that matter?
One. I can think of one.
Oh.
Wasn't Juan Mata's first season very good?
We won the Europa League. No, we didn't. We won the Champions League. Sorry, we didn't win the Europa League.
We won the Champions League and he got the assist in the final.
I mean, I'm going to have to double check this because I don't want to be one of absolutely.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did sign. Yeah, we signed him.
I felt that was
summer. It was summer of 2011, but it was
you're right, 11-12. Yeah,
season started already.
I did a bit of research on this, and for us, I would say Zola. Because
that's another great
won
option.
The Player of the Year award despite just joining in November.
But look how we're talking about him. Look at
how
we're talking about Cole Palmer at the moment. Like we're talking about Juan Mata and Gianfranco Zola. We've got to realise what we've got here at the moment. It's a special, special player.
And I mean, 12 goals in all comps for Chelsea, and we won the FA Cup. That was our first major club honour in 26 years.
Wow.
But there was a slight one that I feel that. I think debut campaign. I think a Torres. I think a Torres at Liverpool. I mean, that was a ridiculous season. He got 33 goals in 46 games.
That is a very good. Yeah, that is.
I love Torres. Everyone knows I love Torres, but that is ridiculous. And we all know.
One of Salah's worst season, like not quite as goal scoring heavy seasons, maybe.
Yeah,
in the way that they played, quite a similar.
N'Golo Kante at Leicester. And then Chelsea, I guess but look, number one, I know people are going to shout him out, but I will not. Look, yeah, it was insane, 52 and 53, Haaland, but he's going into a world-class team. When Torres went to Liverpool, they were not the best team in England. And Zola going to Chelsea, we were not the best team in England. Whilst, Haaland consistently scored every, ridiculous goals wherever he went. You expected that he would do similar at City. And City are the best team. Well, they won the Champions League, didn't they? So, best team in Europe, best team in England. You kind of expect that productive. There's 115 reasons why they probably aren't, but, allegedly. So we'll see. Right. Look, that's us. I mean, there'll be no quiz today, but it'll be back Friday. Back Friday. And so what we say.
Yeah, I'm just fed up of Chris and Berth ducking me. Really.
You're just too good.
I'm an animal.
Too good at the quiz. Look, thank you for listening, listeners. It's always appreciated. Treat yourself well, as always. We'll be back on Friday. And with that is going to be us signing off.
You've been listening to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At the Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.